If you're here, you may be wondering a simple question. Why Alfred Gibbs? Why spend years, decades really, researching a general most people have never heard of and a regiment that rarely appears in textbooks? The answer didn't start with Alfred Gibbs at all. It started with letters. Letters written by members of my own family, Levi Green, Marvin Green, and John Stearns Green, men who served, endured, and recorded their experiences in their own words. Those letters weren't polished histories. They were personal, uneven, sometimes frustrated, sometimes proud, but they were honest. And reading them made one thing very clear to me. History lives most truthfully in the voices of the people who were there. As I followed those voices, I began to notice how often they intersected with names that had faded into obscurity, officers who did their duty well, sometimes exceptionally well, but never found their way into the spotlight. One of those names was Alfred Gibbs. That discovery pulled me in. What began as family research became a deeper investigation into the First New York Dragoons, the nature of leadership in war, and the uncomfortable truth that history often remembers the loudest voices rather than the most capable ones. Gibbs was not a self-promoter, he was a professional soldier, and that made him easy to overlook. This site exists to correct that imbalance. AlfredGibbs.com is not about elevating a man beyond what he deserves. It's about restoring context, placing documents, letters, reports, and firsthand accounts back into the historical record so future researchers can draw their own conclusions. Here you'll find original letters, regimental histories, battle narratives, and primary sources presented openly, without varnish. History is not just dates and outcomes. It is judgment, error, restraint, courage, and consequence. When you read the letters that led me here, the Green family letters, you can see how individual lives connect to larger events. When you study Alfred Gibbs, you see how competence and integrity often operate quietly, even in the chaos of war. This project is a labor of respect for my ancestors, for the men who served beside them, and for the historical process itself. I've spent nearly 30 years pursuing this work, often in the margins of everyday life, moving material from paper to digital so it won't be lost again. If you are a researcher, a student, or simply someone who believes history deserves patience and care, I invite you to explore this site. Everything here is shared in the spirit that first drew me in. Let the evidence speak. That is the why behind alfredgibbs.com, and this work continues. Semper Paratus. I remain your obedient servant, Sergeant Garland H. Green, Jr. P.S. Dad, I'm on it.